Imagine you've just watched 90 minutes of football. High stakes. Everything on the line. And at the end of it, nobody can separate two teams.
Not the points, not the goals, not the goal difference. Nothing.
So what happens? Does FIFA just flip a coin? Do the managers arm wrestle?
Actually, one of those is closer to the truth than you'd think.
And it involves a lot more chaos than a multi-billion-dollar organization should probably admit to.
Here's where it gets interesting.
Let me walk you through exactly what FIFA does when two teams in a World Cup group are completely, impossibly, infuriatingly level.
And how a single random draw could end a nation's World Cup dream.
In a World Cup group stage, 4 teams play each other once. You get 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, 0 for a loss. After all 6 games are played, the top 2 teams advance to the knockout round. Simple enough, right?
This sounds simple. It isn't.
Because sometimes 2 teams finish with exactly the same points. That happens pretty often, actually.
But what happens when every single tiebreaker also ends in a tie?
That's the nightmare scenario. And yes, it has happened.
So let's go through the tiebreaker ladder. Think of it like a series of filters.
Each one tries to separate the teams. If one filter works, you're done. If it doesn't, you fall through to the next one.
And the filters get increasingly absurd as you go.
The first filter is goal difference. If you scored a lot more than you've conceded across the whole group, that counts in your favour. Most of the time, this is where teams get separated. One team has a slightly better goal difference. And that's that. Move on.
But what if goal difference is equal to?
Then you go to total goals scored. Maybe both teams have the same goal difference, but one team just scored more goals in general.
They get the edge.
In theory, this rewards attacking football. In practice, it's yet another number to obsess over late in a tournament. Now here's where it gets interesting. Because if those 2 big ones don't work, FIFA doesn't just throw their hands up.
They zoom in.
They stop looking at the whole group and start looking only at the games between the 2 tied teams. Head to head. The match where you actually played each other.
What was the result?
If you beat them, great news, you go through. This feels like the most sporting solution, honestly. You beat them on the pitch. You deserve to go through. But what if that game was a draw? What if you drew each other and everything else is still even?
Then it's back to the mini-table.
Just between the 2 of you.
Goal difference in that game. Goals scored in that game.
At this point, you're basically replaying the same match in your head with a spreadsheet.
You know the type of scenario I'm talking about. 2 teams, 1 match between them. It ended 1-1. Their overall goal difference is the same. Their goals scored across the tournament are the same. The head-to-head was a draw. The head-to-head goal difference is 0. They scored the same number of goals against each other.
This is where FIFA says, all right, we've tried everything reasonable. Time for something unreasonable. Fair play points. Yes, FIFA literally counts yellow and red cards. Each yellow card is worth 1 point against you. A red card is worth 3. A yellow followed by a red is worth 3.5. The team with fewer disciplinary points goes through. The cleaner team wins. In theory, this is fine.
In practice, this means a single reckless tackle in a group stage game you won 5-0 could haunt you at the very end.
It also rewards teams that foul cleverly without getting caught, which is a fun, unintended consequence nobody talks about. But wait, what if the fair play points are also equal? What if both squads were equally dirty, equally clean, or just equally mediocre at fouling?
This is where we reach the end of the line. And the end of the line is a draw. An actual, literal draw. A random draw. Conducted by FIFA officials.
Your country's World Cup fate decided by which ball gets pulled out of a bowl. There's no tiebreaker left. No clever formula. No algorithm. Just luck. And this has happened.
In the 1990 World Cup, Ireland and the Netherlands were completely level after all other tiebreakers.
A draw was held. Ireland went through.
That's it. That's the story. A nation celebrated. Not because they were better, not because they were luckier on the pitch, but because someone pulled the right ball. Now, to be fair, FIFA has been refining these rules over the years. And the 2026 World Cup, which expanded to 48 teams with a new group format, brought more possible tie situations along with it. More teams, more groups, more ways for numbers to collide. It's the tiebreaker problem on a larger scale than ever before. But the core logic hasn't changed much. You go through the filters, you exhaust the numbers, and if all else fails, someone in a suit reaches into a bowl and your entire squad watches from a hotel room somewhere, waiting to find out if they still have a tournament to play.
So let's come back to where we started. 2 teams, level on everything. What happens? You go through 7 layers of tiebreakers, one by one. Most of the time, something separates the teams long before you reach the bottom. A single goal here, a yellow card there. But occasionally, once in a very long while, football runs out of answers.
And when football runs out of answers, FIFA reaches for a bowl full of balls and hopes nobody watches too closely. The game we love is complicated, precise, and deeply emotional.
And right at the end of all that complexity, there's a random draw waiting. Football is beautiful, and occasionally it is completely absurd.
If you want more videos breaking down the rules, history, and hidden chaos of football, subscribing would genuinely be a smart move. There's a lot more where this came from.